Good morning. You're Zali Valicia. And Ms. Valicia, you were previously in court and entered a plea of guilty to burglary of a habitation, a second-degree felony. This is 24 DCCR 1364. The agreement was for a cap of 7 years in prison. I've received the pre-sentence report and reviewed it. Has everyone had an opportunity to review it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we have.
Any additions or corrections?
I've reviewed the PSI with Zuli. I know that obviously her version, the court has questions about that, and so I would allow her to address that if she does wish to move forward in hopes of obviously us arguing for the probation.
So here's the thing. If you say you didn't do it, you don't get to say I didn't do it, but please give me probation, because then you're not accepting responsibility. So either you did it, what they charged you with, or you didn't. And doing it doesn't mean that you participated fully, and I'm sure Ms. Holmes has explained to you the law of parties in Texas and what that means. But if you say somebody took your car and you weren't even there and you had no idea of it, then that's what juries are for. Because you are about to take the chance, if we go forward, of me sending you to prison for 7 years. Me possibly giving you probation. But I can assure you that you're not going to get any kind of help from me if you get up here and say, well, I didn't really do it, but come on, give me probation. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me, if you want to go forward, tell me exactly what you did, what your part of this was.
I was aware of what my car was going to be used for. I didn't participate in the act, but I knew.
So you didn't drive your car?
No, I did not. I did not drive it at the scene where it happened.
Mr. Nichols, it appears that the...
If I'm explaining myself right.
I think what she was trying to say, Your Honor, she wasn't present at the scene of the burglary, but let them use her car and I guess drove them close by. Because we know she was pulled over driving that vehicle on the way.
I mean, there's cameras from Lieutenant Hudson's cameras that confirm that you were driving when you were stopped.
Yes.
With the other guy seated in the front seat.
I was in town when it happened, but I was not at the scene.
So, yeah.
So when did he get in your car?
When they brought it to the crime scene, but I was not at the crime scene. I was
I'm very confused.
So she drove here to Groves. She drove into town. She was aware of what was going to happen.
You weren't aware of it. You drove in to be a part of, you knew. I mean, there's saying I'm aware of whatever. Y'all came into town with.
Can I rephrase myself?
You probably should real quick, because hang on.
I was not at the crime scene.
Hold on. Because y'all came into town with radio jammers and fully ready with medical mask and face mask and all this stuff to come in from out of town to do what you did here in our town. And so you weren't just riding along and then they said, oh, by the way, sorry you came with us, we're going to do this.
Okay, well, I drove because I'm the one that had the license, so in case we got pulled over.
Okay.
I was not at the scene.
So you brought them to do the crime.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not that hard to say.
Yes, I didn't know how to rephrase myself. I'm sorry.
All right. Ms. Holmes, go ahead with argument.
Yes, sure. She does not have an extensive criminal history. As you can see, there is one prior, looks like a theft of property, which she received 6 months state jail. And then there was a federal case as well back in 2020. Ms. Zuli is currently employed and working. She would like the opportunity to continue that with probation. She does care for family members as well, Your Honor, for her household. As indicated in the PSI, they do have her at a low risk level, which I believe is indicative that she would be successful on probation if given that opportunity. They've also stated in the PSI that they would like her to.
For this, even though she was stopped and is on video driving the morning of. So I think the 7 years is appropriate. I'll note for the court, the co-defendant got 10. At least one co-defendant got 10. I'm not sure on the others. But I think 7 years is appropriate, and given the instance of this case.
How'd y'all pick this person?
Sorry.
How did y'all pick this house, this person, to come in?
No, like I said, the only reason why I came here is because I had the license. So in case they got pulled over, they didn't have a way to prove their citizens. So I was just like the one that drove into town. I don't know about the.
And if I can, two of those individuals have fled the border. They were not legalized, so they probably will never be found. So there were two other individuals involved, in which she has tried to get contact. So that's the reason why they were involved. She was the driver, but they have since fled the country. They're not coming back. That actually went into the house. There was only one that was caught that received the 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what she's trying to say is she was driving because they obviously did not have the credentials to do that, and we don't know where they are.
So do you know why y'all came to this house?
I have no idea. The only reason that I came into town was because I'm the one that had the license. So in case they got pulled over, they didn't have a way, to prove their legal
How many
status.
other times did they have you drive you to other places?
No, that was the only time I did it, and I regret it. It was crazy.
Your Honor, if I may, I had the co-defendant's case. The victim in this particular instance was a local business owner, owned a donut shop. They also owned a donut shop and forgive me if I'm off on the exact city, I think somewhere in Humble, or nearby in Humble. That business, their home in that city was also burglarized.
Right. So right. Thank you,
I
Mr.
cannot show you I was not involved in any other situation that had to do with them. It was just a one-time thing.
How did you know these guys?
Well, basically, one is my barber. The one that's doing time, he's my barber.
He's your brother? Barber.
Yes.
What about the other two that took off?
No, I never knew them.
So where do you live now?
I live in Houston, Texas. Yeah, Houston, Texas.
Do you work?
It's my
Where-
50 hours a week.
For what? For who?
It's integral. It's basically for the state. I get paid $25 an hour.
To do what? I'm sorry.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like solar panels. Like, it's for the state.
Okay.
I have evidence as well.
You have what?
Evidence that I'm working there.
Okay.
Before that, I was working at a car wash, but they offered me more there.
A courtroom hearing suddenly became intense when a woman walked in hoping for probation. But one wrong explanation almost changed everything. What started as a sentencing hearing quickly turned into a powerful exchange about truth, responsibility, and second chances. Zully Valisha appeared before the court after previously pleading guilty to burglary of a habitation, a serious second-degree felony offense. Under the agreement, there was a cap of 7 years in prison. The possibility of probation was still on the table, but there was one major problem. The judge had questions. As the hearing began, Zully attempted to explain her role in the crime. She insisted she wasn't physically inside the house during the burglary and tried distancing herself from the actual break-in. But almost immediately, the judge stopped her. The message was direct. You can't say you didn't do it and then ask for probation. Suddenly, the entire courtroom atmosphere changed. The judge began asking simple questions. Did you know what the car was being used for? Did you drive? Were you aware of the plan? At first, the answers became confusing. Zully tried explaining that she wasn't at the actual scene. But as more questions came, details started coming out one by one. She admitted she drove the people involved. She admitted she knew what was going to happen. And then came the moment that completely changed the hearing. So you brought them to do the crime? After several moments of confusion, she finally answered, "Yes, ma'am." The courtroom briefly fell silent. What looked like an attempt to avoid responsibility suddenly became a moment of honesty. Then the judge reviewed her background, employment, family responsibilities, criminal history, and the pre-sentence report. While acknowledging the seriousness of the offense, the judge also recognized something important. This appeared to be someone who had made a terrible decision rather than someone beyond help. Then came the decision nobody expected. Instead of prison, the judge chose deferred probation for 10 years with strict conditions. A fine was imposed, reporting requirements were added, curfews were established, and there would be absolutely no contact with the co-defendants. But then came the warning that changed everything. If she violated even one condition, the protection of that agreement would disappear, and the full punishment range could return up to 20 years in prison. What started as a hearing that nearly collapsed under confusion ended with a second chance. But inside that courtroom, one thing became clear. Second chances only work when responsibility begins with the truth.
Your probation officer and law enforcement and let them know any information that you have about where they are. You will be, I want her on the medium-high caseload to start off with. It means you're going to be reporting more often, making sure you get off on the right track. Because
I work like an hour from my house, so I leave the house at 2:30 and come back home at 2:30 in the morning.
So talk to probation. I want you to work, okay? And so you need to get them documentation of your schedule because there will be a curfew except for employment purposes. You'll be required to report in Harris County, but you're also going to be required to report by mail or online here. So you kind of have double duty. You've got to do it all. If you don't report by mail or online here, it's a violation. If you don't go in person there, it's a violation. If you don't give them proof of where you are when you're supposed to be, it's a violation. If you test positive for any drugs, whatever it is, you're going to be on a high caseload so that I know, at least for some time, that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And if you don't, you will be right back in here. Do you understand? All right, I'm going to hand you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. You need to have a seat here in the courtroom. Probation, she'll call you up to her desk when she's ready to go over your paperwork. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, sir, you're Jaron Crane. And Mr. Crane, you're charged in cause number 23 DCCR 1082 with evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. In cause number 23 DCCR 1406 and 23 DCCR 2233 with aggravated robbery. And what is the announcement?
Judge, we've gotten a new offer, or gotten an offer on Mr. Crane, and I've given it to him and talked to him about it. I was gonna ask for a short reset, maybe like 2 weeks, just so we can talk to his parents. And I think that it'll be resolved at that moment. It won't be.
Okay. Any issue?
No, Judge, that is fine with me. I just want the court to know it's no longer any type of a probation offer that the state is extending based on the nature of where we got last week with Mr. Crane.
Right.
For some reason, that attitude changes. We'll approach the court with that, but I appreciate you letting us hold on that. It is my intention. I want Mr. Crane to know from me, it's my intention to go on his case to trial first and ask that any sentences that can run consecutively, run consecutively.
So, Mr. Crane, I'm going to reset your case a couple of weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
We're done playing games, all right? So, if you were, whatever all happened, if you've changed your mind, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. But we're not putting your case off for someone else's case anymore. Your case is going to go forward. You have 2 weeks to make up your mind on if you want to accept this plea agreement or not. If you don't, then we'll get your cases set for trial very quickly, and your case will go to trial. And after that, I'm not accepting plea agreements and all of that. So this is where you need to talk to your attorney, family, whatever you need to do. When you come back, I want to know either we're taking a deal that day or you're going to trial. Doesn't matter to me which way, but we're not putting it off anymore. We're not going to say we're going to do this or that and then get your case put off. It's going forward, okay?
And Judge, we can be prepared very quickly. I've already prepared all the witnesses in lieu of the other trial.
Okay, thank you. All right, you're free to go. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Judge.
One courtroom. Multiple lives changed in just a few minutes. Some defendants walked away with second chances, while others were warned that prison could be right around the corner. Judge Raquel West made one thing very clear today: excuses don't matter. Accountability does. And in this courtroom, every decision comes with consequences. If you enjoyed this courtroom breakdown, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more real cases, shocking moments, and powerful legal drama.